Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock and I am super excited. Why am I excited? It's coming up to that time of the year. It's coming up to November. Why is November so exciting? Well, simply put, it's because it's time for the London Magic Convention. It's now in its third year. It's one of my favorite conventions in the whole of Magic, and I go to a lot of them. The first one was my first convention back after many years out of the industry, and I loved it so much. The second one was even better. It's hosted and put on and organized by Preston and Andy Nyman, and I've managed to find time to sit down with Preston, who is an absolute legend, who's going to be talking about the London Magic Convention, how awesome it is, how this one's going to be awesome, and just how he's awesome as well. It is the one and only Preston Nyman. How you doing, Preston?
Hi. I'm good. I'm very touched. What a lovely introduction.
Preston,
Lovely introduction.
you're amazing. You're fantastic. And
Thank you. I'll
and,
take it.
and you are,
Likewise.
you are. And the convention that it I already talked about this. We've spoken about this in the past, but I genuinely believe that the London Magic Convention filled a spot that was missing from the calendar year ever since Ron's Day went away. And
Yeah.
you know, ever since that convention, the international convention disappeared, there's been that gap, and the London Magic Convention has started off a kind of replacing that, but now it's its own entity. Every year gets better and better. There's so many super exciting things that you don't see at any other convention. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I really do.
Well, I think also something that you the biggest Ron's Day thing that we've definitely tried to emulate that you touched on a minute ago, saying it's that time of year again. For us, that was the big thing that we loved Ron's convention. Very different convention to ours, but a similar sort of family feel, I suppose. But the thing that we really missed was getting to, what are we, late September now, getting to kind of September, October, and thinking, okay, well, we're round the corner from Ron's, and after that it's Christmas basically,
Yeah.
and it was always such an exciting thing for us getting on the tube to I think it was like the Blackfriars. Can't remember what the station was the last couple of years it was on. It was something around that. It was at the Mermaid. Um, and definitely that tube journey was always like, oh my God, we're about to go into the dealers hall, and that is like the start of Christmas. So you saying that it's nearly that time of year is absolutely like what we wanted to the main thing that we wanted to capture
Yeah.
from that Ron slot, definitely. So it's exciting that sort of people hopefully have that feeling about the London Magic Convention.
They do. And, I was talking to Lloyd about this, my friend Lloyd Barnes, who's been every year as well. And that's a real accomplishment for Lloyd because he doesn't like to leave Wales. And he comes every, it's true, he doesn't. He comes every single year. And one of the things that he said to me about last year's convention, especially, is that he loved the dealer hall, because when you look at a lot of one-day conventions, they're normally a very small, maybe 2 or 3 dealers. But you've attracted dealers in your dealer hall that are like international dealers. They've literally flown in for a day just to do this.
Yeah.
The dealer hall is amazing in its own right. Outside of everything else that you have going on, it's incredible.
That was also a really big thing for us was the dealers hall. I think there are some people that go to conventions just for dealers and some just for lectures, but there's a huge crossover of where me and Dad sit pretty comfortably of you want that big dealers hall. You want to feel like you've really got to go around to see everything, but you also want the great lectures too. Sorry, I thought I turned my emails off, so sorry if you're hearing ping or whether that's just in my ear.
Can't hear anything.
The the dealers, I think this year we've got a couple of international ones. The ones that really spring into mind are, we've got Brett Barry's coming over, Sven Pad's Brett Barry, Astor's coming over. There's a couple, they're all on the website actually. But there's a couple of like big international dealers and big UK, Europe dealers. So it definitely, we want it to feel, it's kind of less about the number of dealers. I mean, there is a lot of dealers. It is as full as it could be, and it is a big room with dealers. But it's more about the image when you walk in, and there's banners, and there's a crowd over there, and there's someone that, oh my God, well, they're an American dealer, and over there. It's that excitement when you walk in that, I'm glad that we have loads of dealers, but there could be 5 dealers there. And as long as it feels full and feels like there's going to be stuff that you haven't seen, it's kind of a win for us. That being said, there are loads of dealers, and certainly last year a lot got like launched at the convention, which was very exciting. So I think hopefully there'll be stuff that people haven't seen in the dealers hall.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, it is. I think you are a dealer. And I think
Yeah,
that you're
Magic TV
probably
is
the
going to be there.
last dealer that we have. I think in terms of space, it is as zigzagged and full as that room could be. So there are
Right.
a lot of dealers to go around.
And you know what else I loved from last year? And this was upgraded from the year before, because the very first year, the venue was great, but a lot of people said that they didn't particularly like having the dealers in the same room as the actual convention. Last year, what I loved is the venue that you picked. There was first of all, you had the dealer section. It was completely separate. I love the fact that you had the theater where everything took place, so the seating was immaculate. Then you had a really big
Yeah.
area that people could just sit down and session and chat and catch up. You had a bar that served food and drink all day. You didn't need to leave.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's very important about a convention, that you've got places where you can sit down and talk and chat and show each other tricks. The layout, if you had to try and create the perfect layout for a convention, I think what you would create is what you had at that
Oh,
venue.
well, I think also what we so the thing about a kind of hangout space is definitely that's it really is sort of collaborative with me and Dad coming up with ideas, and like everything's kind of a marriage of both of our interests. But that was definitely a Dad thing. In my head, I was like, dealers hall and the seating area, let's put as many dealers there as possible, and let's have and it was actually Dad that restraint is really important as well as kind of excess, I suppose. And Dad being like, I think people really need a place to sit and socialize, which the venue has anyway, and it will be a shame to lose that. I was really like, no, let's pack people in. And actually he was dead right, and so many people have said that the part they enjoyed was you have this wonderful, it isn't a conference room, it is a Victorian theatre in 20 minutes from central London. It couldn't be more convenient and easy to get to. And when you leave that, it's not like you're straight in the dealer's hall and it's claustrophobic. You have that lovely big bar area. There's tables, there's like an outdoor area, a great bar. And I think that was really, really important to the atmosphere last year. And that's still there this year. That is, people being able to sit, play with the toys they've just bought, chat about the lectures, or also just a lot of people were just sitting there jamming, and you'd get little groups forming and people moving into other groups, and like that was a really, really lovely thing to see. And it also went on until people were still there after we'd left. We were so exhausted and we were packing up the convention at the end of last year. I think you may have still been there. Loads of people were still there by the time that we
pretty
cleared
much got
out.
kicked out at the end. Yeah, me and my family and Ryland and Killian O'Connor and his parents.
Yeah.
We were just there, like Ryland and Killian were, and that's what I really liked as well. There were a load of kids there. You had people like Killian and Ryland just sitting down with people like Dynamo and Pete Turner, and I'm like, you wouldn't see this at any other convention. As friendly as Blackpool is, it's too big. You could be there the whole thing and just not see anybody. But you had just like superstars that were just like walking around as punters, that were just like sitting down and chatting.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I think there's two. The first one, a big thing for us, and I think we've spoken about this before, but a big thing for us is like not compete. We can't compete with Blackpool. Blackpool is huge and it is amazing. And we just can't, if we tried to compete with that, it would be a disaster. We can't compete with the session. The session is like super cool, super great. They're two great conventions, and we can't compete. So it's about finding the things that make us, convention wise and people wise. And I think one of the big things is it is a family affair, like Macmillan's was. It is, mum is handing out the goodie bags, my sister's on merch, my girlfriend is like running around backstage for us. It is a family affair, and I think that trickles down to attendees too. You feel like you're part of the family, and there's no status. There's no if you're a megastar in the industry, there's nowhere to hide. There's the dealers hall and the jamming area and the lectures. You're there with everyone, and there's no, what Blackpool has that's brilliant is a million lectures, and it's amazing because you can really pick and choose what you want to see, which we can't compete with. But there's something really nice about that also, in that those are our lectures. There are 3 lectures and they're great. And if you want to see a lecture, those are the 3. So everyone is seeing the same things, can chat about the same things. You can't kind of go off and get lost and have your own experience in the same way, which is great for some conventions, but it just wouldn't work for ours, I don't think.
Yeah, totally agree. And talking about lecturers, let's talk about the lineup because the lineup is incredible. And as I said to you earlier on off camera, me and Lloyd Barnes were talking about how amazing the lineup is. First of all, you have Mark Paul, who many people would say is one of the top mentalists in the world.
Yeah.
And you have him as a lecturer, which is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like Mark Paul, huge win. I mean, that's great. I don't know how you got
Well,
him.
I think he's one of those. I mean, he's so busy with. I mean, he's constantly working, and I think cruises a lot, and like it's insanely in demand. And he's also one of those people that we really feel, and a lot of Brits maybe are like this. He's incredibly established, and I think a lot of people have seen his Penguin lecture, and loads of people are really familiar with his work. But I think there is a ton of people that know the name and maybe are aware of his releases and lectures and stuff, but haven't ever really certainly haven't seen him perform and haven't really seen him lecture in person. You know, because he's a big name, but he is busy. And so to get him, we're like so incredibly excited. A, because he's amazing, and also because we think that there are a lot of people that will be at our convention that have not seen him
Well, he doesn't
lecture
really
or are
lecture
aware
much
of who
these
he is
days.
without really. He doesn't really. I mean, his Penguin lecture is amazing, but I don't think I've ever. Personally, I've never seen him lecture live. I've only ever seen him
I
lecture on
haven't.
video.
I haven't.
Oh my
No.
God! Well, and it couldn't be in a nicer place to see him. So yeah, Mark Paul, we're over the moon to get.
That's amazing. And then you have, how do you top Mark Paul? Well, you top him with John Lovick.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy that's been there, done that, bought the T-shirt, and then sold the T-shirt, bought it back
Oh
again.
yeah.
The guy is just, he's literally written the book.
Well, I think the last time my memory is the last time that he was in the UK was for an international convention, which hasn't been on for, a decade or so. So he has not been lecturing, performing here for a long time, as far as I'm aware. I might be wrong on that.
I don't think so.
But again, not on my radar, certainly he hasn't. And he is, a great friend and lovely and so properly funny. He's also something I mentioned to you off camera, but I should say for people that are interested in coming to the convention, my friend Tom Brace, my very good friend Tom Brace, organises. He did it in Edinburgh, a show called Late Night Magic, and he's doing it at the Pleasance the night before the convention on the 4th of November. And so John is lecturing at us, but not performing because of the lecture we're about to talk about. But he is not doing a performance, he's just doing his lecture. But he has been booked by Tom to do Late Night Magic the night before. So if you are in town for the convention or looking for things to do around the convention, magic-wise in town, you can go and see Handsome Jack perform and then watch him lecture the next day, which is like a very, very rare opportunity.
That's great. That's awesome. That's brilliant. And yeah, I mean, as good as Mark Paul and John Lovick are, and they are both amazing, I was amazed to see that Charlie Caper is on the bill. This is somebody I've never seen perform. I've never seen lecture.
Oh my God.
But I have heard about him so many times. And so
wow.
For me, I'm kind of a bit like, I don't really know much. I've just heard how amazing he is.
Yeah. So I think, again, he's one of those people that people are aware of. Like for you, I was aware of who he was, but hadn't really. I'd maybe seen he won Sweden's Got Talent. So I think I'd maybe seen that clip years ago, but I hadn't. I wasn't really aware until a couple of years ago. I was just aware of the name and the reputation. And I've seen it a couple of years on the trot now, his Edinburgh show, which I genuinely, hand on heart believe is certainly in the top 5, if not the top 2 or even 1 magic shows I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I have never seen a more diverse, strange, all walks of life audience react to the same magic, proper big reactions. And he's just like got the best, it's the most refined versions of everything. He's absolutely got that kind of street performer level of just refinement. So he's lecturing, and I've seen him sort of do a mini lecture-y thing at Magic Live that was great. But he's doing a full an hour-long lecture and then a 40-minute version of his show after our gala show in the evening. And again, it's an amazing space to see it. But Craig, if you've never seen him perform, he honestly, not to go into used car salesman, that's worth the price of admission alone. But genuinely, that is worth the price of admission alone. He is beyond belief good.
And my friend Tom Crosby, who I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
is like the boss when it comes to the Edinburgh Fringe. Like he does it every single year. He's turned around to me and said, Charlie Caper is the best act he's ever seen at a Fringe ever.
Wow.
So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. I really do think I went on he did a show a couple of years ago that was a robot magic show. He like programmed loads of robots and was kind of fixing stuff in real time, and it was amazing. It was like an amazing sort of curio experiment. And then the next year I saw he went back to doing his like regular show. And I mean, both are amazing, but that regular show is truly, Tom's right. It is certainly at the Fringe, the best magic show. I mean, he really, really is spectacular. So for him, if nothing else, but the fact that we've got Mark Paul and John Lovick and Charlie Caper is like the most surreal, amazing, again, kind of diverse lineup.
And I was thinking, how are you going to top people like Chad Long from the previous year? And it's like, well, okay, you pulled that one off then, didn't you? That's amazing.
Yeah.
But
we also have, because we've only got 3 lectures, it's a really tight, but there's loads of amazing people that have asked to do it, and we really want to do it, and we've got a long old list, but you've got to get that balance right of, because there's 3, it's got to be a bit of everything. It's not, again, there are sessions, the Neat Review convention that happened recently, that's like a very specific sort of magic that's amazing, and they're catering to one specific sort of thing, whereas we're catering to quite a wide thing. So you've got to balance. There's got to be a lecturer from this world of magic and a lecturer from this world. So I think that not only have we got an amazing lineup, but we've also got a really good balance, and we struck that the past couple of years quite well. And I think this year is going to be even like absolutely up there with like a good lineup.
I did notice. I looked at the convention timetable, and I did notice a mystery lecture at 4:30.
Yes.
Now,
go on.
There was no mystery lecture. I'm up on my London Magic Convention history, and there was no mystery lecturer last year, but there was the year before, and it ended up being Darren Brown. Now I'm not going to say it was Darren. I'm not saying it's Darren, but I mean. This is the convention that brought us Darren Brown as a mystery lecturer 2 years ago, and now we have a mystery slot. Very, very interesting on that convention timetable.
I will say that there's been there's been that kind of mystery slots. The first year it was an interview with Darren, and last year it was an interview with Jonathan Goodwin and a kind of career retrospective. And this year it's a slightly combined thing where we have a without giving too much away, I suppose, we have a lifetime achievement award that we're very enthusiastic about giving someone, and we are also very enthusiastic about the prospect of them lecturing, even though it's quite a weird sort of slot in the middle of the day. It's quite hard it's a tight day schedule wise, and so we've kind of struck a good best of both worlds. So the person is absolutely a living legend. So that will be excellent, I think. Yes, I'd forgotten that was on the website, actually. But I think that will be a really interesting... I think it will be an amazing... I think it's 45 minutes, that slot, maybe.
45 minutes, yeah. 4:30 is 5:15.
Yes, and I think it will absolutely be worth... Again, if you're at the convention, jump into that. You've got time for dinner. There's time for dinner in the schedule, but definitely come and see the mystery thing, because I think it'll be a pretty great slot, I think.
Amazing. And then we have to talk about the stuff that's happening that was there last year. So the most insane thing that I've ever seen at any magic convention ever is the £4 gala show.
Yes.
And it's back.
So for those that don't know, I mean, I've explained this on the channel before, but I'm going to go into detail again.
Please do, because it's totally nuts.
It sounds like it doesn't work, and it really, really works. So again, originally planning the convention a couple of years ago, we were like, again, just about, there's no point trying to compete. We can't compete with Blackpool's gala shows because they're like unbelievably good. What should we do? And we had a couple of ideas, and eventually decided on this thing that we came up with called the £4 gala show, which is anyone can enter, any convention attendee can enter, and you can do whatever you want. Doesn't even have to be magic. You can do whatever you want on the stage, as long as it comes in between 3 minutes 45 seconds and 4 minutes. You're not allowed to use music. You're not allowed to use any sort of clocks. The audience are aware of how long you've done, but you're not. You can't see any sort of time. So if you can bring your act in that 15-second window, you get an enormous round of applause and you win £4. But if you go under that amount of time or over that amount of time, your act finishes and you still get a big round of applause, but you do not win the grand prize of £4. So it's a great fun. I mean, it's amazing to perform. I think I'm having not performed in it, I think it's exhilarating to perform in, but as an audience member, it is so much fun to watch. And as a convention organizer, it costs us about £12 for our gala show, because a lot of people, they walk out and you think, oh, they've absolutely got this. You know, they've rehearsed it, and this is going to be 3 minutes 50. And all of a sudden you see the time creeping and creeping and creeping. And before you know it, they're at 4 minutes 1 and it's over, you know. So it is so much fun to watch. And you're really, really rooting for people. It's really good natured too.
That's great. And then you've got, I mean, the £4 gala show is my favorite. And having the £4 gala show and then having Charlie Capehart perform at the end. I mean, talk about evening entertainment, by the way. I just need to say that.
We have a middle thing, I have to say, which I don't know if, I mean, it's definitely been on Facebook and stuff, but it is, you got to spread the word so hard about these things, I find, that you think, well, I've told every magician in the world about this. And then I was with Christian Grace the other morning, and I was chatting to him about the convention and was like, oh, and of course we're doing this that maybe you saw on Facebook. He was like, nope, haven't seen that at all. You realize, oh my God, there's so many people that you've got to reach with stuff. We have made a 3D film.
I was going to bring this up because I am aware of this. I know that each convention attendee is going to be given a pair of 3D glasses. And I love that the website is kind of in 3D as well when you're talking about
yes.
it. What
our lecture photos 3D
on in the Nyman household? Like what is going on with this?
We basically, I have to show this also, which is our 3D poster that an amazing artist, Sarah Sumray, designed. And it genuinely works with the glasses. So basically, me and Dad are obsessed with 3D. And I firmly believe that 3D is the most amazing magic trick ever. You know, tricking your senses into seeing depth when, you know, out of a flat thing, I think is incredible. And we've been pretty obsessed with it for a long time. And I bought a 3D camera, a film camera, a 3D camera, which is quite a weirdly hard thing to sort of manufacture. And I found people that manufactured it and was playing with it and said to Dad, oh, at some point it might be really funny to do a 3D thing for the convention. I don't know what that means, but at some point it might be funny. And the next morning I called him again and was like, this is our 3rd year. This was a couple of months ago now. And it would be disastrous if we didn't capitalize on that. Much like, you know, Friday the 13th, part 3, 3D, Jaws 3D. If we didn't capitalize on LMC3 and make it LMC 3D. And so then by the end of that day, we decided, okay, well, we're going to show a 3D film and everyone's going to get a pair of 3D glasses, having no idea what that means. And over the past couple of months, we've managed to pull something together, which is full of magic in jokes. And it's a 12-minute 3D film that will go in between the gala show and Charlie Caper. So it is a bumper evening of entertainment.
Wow, that sounds incredible. What an amazing evening. I mean, wow. I mean, I can't wait to see that. I know it's going to be brilliant. I just know it's going to be brilliant.
Thank you. Fingers crossed. It will certainly be interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
it's just ridiculous.
It's a lot, but it will be good. It won't be good. It will be great. But we're certainly in that period of, you know, we're 6 weeks away, whatever we are, and it becomes very real all of a sudden. But it will be a great day, I think.
And I think the last thing that we need to talk about is the close-up competition. And it's so nice to still have a close-up competition as part of a convention. I don't think there's another convention now that has a competition attached to it. Oh, other than the IBM, maybe. Yeah, the IBM does. But other than the IBM, you're the only convention that really has a competition now. And here it's been very high quality. I mean, the acts both years have been fantastic. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, like have we got? To, are you? I'm guessing that we now.
we've got well.
Yeah.
The competition is full, and the people that have applied are, without saying, because you won't know until the day, but there are some big names and some very, very prestigious people that are in our close-up competition this year. It is big guns for sure. So I think that possibly, I think I introduced a close-up competition this year and Dad watched, but I think we might have to swap this year and he introduces it and I can sit and watch because I think it's going to be a pretty amazing lineup. Actually, both competitions are going to be a pretty good lineup, but I think the close-up in particular is going to be pretty a tough competition, that's for sure.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to say. I mean, yeah. I mean, I asked you last year if it was hard topping year one, and I'm going to ask you the same question now. Was it hard topping year two? Was it like, do you have pressure on yourself thinking, oh my gosh, okay, we're now established, we're now into our third year, we've got to make it better, we've got to go further?
I think that in the same way I was saying about Dad saying about an area for people to hang out and that restraint is quite important. I think that has been the biggest thing this year. Where from the first year, yes, we were in a much smaller venue. It was a great venue, but it was tight in there. So then the next year we expanded into the Lyric Hammersmith, which is amazing, and then after that you think, oh, okay, well next year we'll do 2 years, or next year we'll go into a bigger. Or next year, there's loads of things, and actually the most difficult thing, and actually the most important thing, is just restraint and making sure that it doesn't. We were really careful between year one and year two that we didn't lose the warmth of the convention. I would say something I'm really proud of is I think it's probably the warmest convention to go to, especially if you're a newcomer. I think it is absolutely the most inclusive, friendly convention, and that's partly because of the slightly smaller size and partly because of we were really careful to maintain that feeling as we went into a bigger venue. And on the one hand, I think we could do the convention at the O2, and as long as we were running it in the same way, it would still have that feeling. But on the other hand, you have to be really delicate to not bite off more than you can chew and to expand in little ways. This 3D film is like a foray into a slightly different territory that is an expansion for us, but the convention kind of feels like it fits the same mold that people really loved. So the pressure is on because there's tickets to sell and there's a lot of people to make happy who have spent hard-earned money. And I think we'll make them happy, but you never know. Something could go disastrously wrong. But the pressure is off in other areas where you go, we've got a great convention that we know how to run and we love doing it, and that passion comes across. And even if everything goes completely against plan on the day, we're pretty confident that our love for magic and our love for our attendees and our love for the convention kind of overrules everything else. On that note, can I say one more thing actually, just before we go? We do a thing that is part of our the reason why we love doing it so much is we do a thing that we put on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram called Mitzvah Tickets. And
too, and it was such an
yes,
incredible. It shows the type of people that you and your dad are. That's all I can say about that.
That's really kind, and it's tricky because we want to do something nice, and the only way to do that really is to tell people about it. On the other hand, you don't want it to feel a bit sort of it doesn't want to feel like a look at me, look how much I give to charity. It doesn't want to feel like that. But I think that just to get the message out is really important. And this is basically we've got a couple left. The demand's been really big this year, but there is a couple left. It's a really hard time, obviously, at the moment, as it always is, but really at the moment, it's tricky for people financially, work-wise, mentally. I mean, it is a tricky time. And the reason that we set the convention up in the first place is because, there's two reasons, actually, that we set it up. The first one is there hadn't been a convention because of COVID, and we really wanted to just do something fun and nice and positive that was magic related. And the other one was we were very good friends with Anthony Owen that had died a couple of years before, and we wanted to honour him in some way. So the convention's always kind of in memory of him. And we wanted to make sure that it is a nice day for everyone and a positive day and a healthy day. And so if you just don't have any money at the moment, or if you're going through a hard time or a weird time or work's weird or anything like that, email us info@londonmagicconvention.co.uk with the subject mitzvah, MITZVAH, and we'll give you a free ticket. You don't need to answer any questions. You don't need to tell us what's going on, anything like that. We'll just give you a free ticket regardless of what the situation is. Just email us info@londonmagicconvention.co.uk and there will be a ticket for you. So if anyone's watching and wants to take us up on that, be quick, because there is a kind of set number of them, but we do have some left. And it's really important to us that you don't just have to pay and come, Oh, thank you. That's really kind. But it's an important thing for us to do. And we've had a lot of very nice people who had those tickets last year and have had a change of fortunes and have been we never ask anyone to pay it forward or anything, but a lot of people have gone, can I pay it forward? I'm going to book a ticket for a friend. There's been a really nice reaction from people that had the tickets last year. And you just hope people continue that spirit of goodwill, especially so close to Christmas too.
That's fantastic. That's so good.
Thank you. Yeah.
So obviously, yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing else to say. I mean, that's just brilliant. So yes, if anyone's listening to this and you are finding yourself in a difficult situation, email in.
Yes.
And
please do.
Yeah. That's brilliant.
Please, there's no shame, no questions, nothing. We'll just email you a ticket. There's no worries about doing it at all. And
for people that have never been and are able to get a ticket, you need to go to the London. Well, the URL is londonmagicconvention.co.uk. londonmagicconvention.co.uk. You're going to see a list of the lecturers. You're going to see a list of the dealers. You're going to see information on the gala show, the competition. You're going to see information on the times. The timetable's going to be there. You're going to find out the venue, and you can also find out about the merch, because I love that the London Magic Convention has its own merch. I have, and I'm very proud owner. Both myself and Ryland have a London Magic Convention mug that we drink our coffee and hot chocolate from. So yeah, you can get merch.
Lovely.
You can get merch at the London Magic Convention.
We did. That's another. The 3D thing is like we have such a love of theme parks and stuff over the years. So the merch was a big thing. What would we want to buy if we went to a convention? So we got t-shirts, posters, our 3D poster, which is great, limited edition. We've got challenge coins, which we're kind of going to explain a bit more about on the day, but these lovely sleight of hand coins. There's some great stuff. So yes, definitely check out the merch and definitely book tickets.
Amazing. Well, tickets are available now. I know that ticket sales have been really good. It is my favorite conventions of the whole calendar year. And like Preston said, it's super fun. It's super friendly. Everybody's really nice. Huge dealer hall. Lots of time in between scheduled things to go and session and catch up with friends. Just a really nice vibe. And you never know who you're going to meet there either, because people just pop in. Whether they're on the bill or not, you're just going to see people pop in. So it's an amazing convention. And it's small enough that you get to see everybody and be able to pick out the stuff that you want to do without having to be in a situation where you miss everything. So yeah, wonderful convention. Cannot wait. Really can't wait for it. I'm excited. So
thank you so much. Well, thank you. Lovely to chat to you, and I will see you on November the 5th.
You'll see me on November the 5th. I'm definitely going to be there early. So I might even pop along and see Handsome Jack perform as well the night before. I'll take Ryland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please do. That'll be great. That'll be a lovely precursor to the convention. Absolutely.
Absolutely. But Preston, I can't wait to see you in November. Thank you so much. I know how busy you are. I know how many projects you've got going on. So thank you for finding time to chat to me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. And thank you.
Like I've said to you before, anytime you want to say anything on Magic TV, the platform is yours to use.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Guys, I want you to do me a favor now. Leave a comment down below. If you've been to the London Magic Convention, let Preston know. He'll read them. If he's never been, what are you waiting for? Leave a comment down below. Tell him you're coming. Go onto the website, book a ticket. It's going to be incredible. Take a weekend away. Go and hang out at the friendliest magic convention in the UK. And I will be back again soon with another video. But Preston, one more time, thanks for jumping on the channel.
Thank you.
No problem. Guys, see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.